crown of history's embrace. Captain's quarters sets the pace with Captain Mayhem at the helm. A voyage of knowledge, a story to round. Captain's quarters weekly delight, where history's treasures take flight. Led by Mayhem, Longwood, and Joe, they explore the past, row by row. Navigator Longwood charts the course, guiding listeners to knowledge.
Hey, welcome aboard. It's episode 156, 7 October in the year of our Lord 2024. I know, it sounds very piratey, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Aye. Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. Going to be a quiet show tonight. Our guest had some technical difficulties, partially due to the way the weather is coming in. Go figure. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is a hurricane coming our way. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But for now, let's say thank you to the Pirate and Treasure Museum for being our main sponsor. St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum. Come on in and get a good tour on the weekends from me, Captain Mayhem. And during the week, just come on in and take it on your own. Now, let's see. How do we find ourselves there, Davey? YouTube, Captain's Quarters Podcast. That QR code will get you right to us. And you can then like us, subscribe to us, follow us. All three. It's a trifecta of ways to keep up with the Captain's Quarters Podcast. We hope you will do that. We thank you very much if you do. And if you don't, well, I'll come hunt you down. On that note, we always start off with 8 Bells, sponsored by our good friends, the family of reenactors, the Riker family. They do Spanish, they do British, they do colony or colonial. They also do Ren Fair, and they do pirate. They're a couple that really helps me out when it comes to my Mayhem Traveling Nautical Museum. So how many do we have, Davey?
6.
Okay, shouldn't tax my verbal skills too badly. So let's see what we have. I have my glasses on. We'll try to do what we can. Kenneth Page, an American actor and cabaret singer who created the part of Ken in the original Broadway production of Ain't Misbehavin' and played Old Deuteronomy in the original Broadway and film stage adaptation of Cats. He voiced Oogie Boogie in the Nightmare Before Christmas, oh that's cool, franchise, and played in the original Broadway production of Wiz as the Lion, and the first Broadway revival of Guys and Dolls as Nicely Johnson. He was 70 years old. Frank Fritz, the former longtime co-host of History Channel's American Pickers reality series. American Pickers, produced by A&E Networks, is association with Cineflix Media, premiered on January 18, 2010 on the History Channel in the series. Host Wolf and Fritz travel around and across America in search of rare and Americana artifacts and national treasures to buy from collectors for resale or to add to their own personal collections. He was 60 years old. Braden Walker Yerkes, known professionally as Bob Yerkes, was an American stuntman beginning a life of acrobatics in the circus at the age of 15. Yerkes went on to work as a stuntman in such films as Back to the Future, Return of the Jedi, and Hook. Yerkes later hosted stunt training days on an invitation-only basis at his home in Los Angeles. He was 92 years old. Susie Maxwell Burning was an American professional golfer. She became a member of the LPGA Tour in 1964 with 4 major championships and 11 LPGA Tour victories in all. She also competed under her maiden name, Susie Maxwell, from 64 to 68. She was inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame in 2022. She was 83 years old. Alan Bly, a Canadian-born American television writer known as a writer for the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour and the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour. He played Captain Bligh on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood in the 1960s. He was 87 years old. George Paul Landry, an American professional football player who was a quarterback in the National Football League and United States Football League from 68 to 84. He played college football for the UMass Minutemen from 65 to 67, and was selected in the first round of the 1968 NFL Draft with the 11th overall pick. Landry played in the NFL for the Detroit Lions, Baltimore Colts, and Chicago Bears. He became an assistant coach after his playing career ended, and he was 77 years old. Those are the 6 for this week, ladies and gentlemen, and my apologies. My good pair of glasses has seemed to have vanished, so I'm left with this pair here. It's time for me to go and figure that out. But for now, we raise a glass. We give honor to those that have passed, to their fans, their friends, and their family. You made a difference in the world. We thank you very much. 8 bells, Davy. Very good, very good. So, what's next? Oh, we always take it up a notch with Mini Mayhem. Mini Mayhem gives us our joke of the week every week, and it's time to bring him aboard. Sponsored by Salt City Comics, a good friend of ours out there in Salt Lake City, Utah, who is the creator of the cartoon characters of Captain Mayhem and Davy Longwood and Mandy Joe and Mason. And maybe eventually we'll see a comic book out of it. But for now, let's see what Mini Mayhem has to say.
Ahoy, mates! Mini Mayhem here with Joke of the Week, sponsored by Salt City Comics. What did the pirate skeleton order at the bar? Think about it, and I'll give you the answer at the end of the show.
Got me on that one. I'm stumped. Well, we'll see what happens. You'll notice, ladies and gentlemen, that Mandy is not with us right now. She is in Utah. That's where she lives. So there's always a time difference. And so sometimes on the Monday, she has her own family to take care of. And we understand that. And so we are appreciative when she can be here. She actually is very important to us behind the scenes and helps us make understanding of certain things. For example, I've just now learned what Linktree is. And I have actually started to use it. Davey, it works out well. I used it over the weekend too. So we're going to be using Linktree to keep everything we have together for one QR code on everything. But we'll talk about that more in the future. It is time for Quote of the Week, and that's Spyglass Travel, ladies and gentlemen. They're our sponsors. If you want a good walking tour of the city of St. Augustine, the oldest city in the nation, call up my friends Angie and Kevin of Spyglass Travel. Not only where you get some great history about the oldest city, but it's a long walk. So it's good for your cardio. Nothing better than learning and exercising at the same time. So ladies and gentlemen, our quote of the week is, challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. Joshua J. Marine. That's a good quote. Challenges are what make life interesting. Overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. I always like to say, life is full of challenges and opportunities. Wouldn't you agree, Davey?
Aye.
Yes. So I see we have a few people in watching us. I see Ransom Mayhem. I see Al Lane. I see Zachary Harker from Michigan. Nice to have you all three aboard. Thank you very much. Let's see. National Day of. Something we started about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and it's been fun because it opens up some other ideas and thoughts of things to do on the show. So I think there's 5 this week, right?
No, there was 9.
9? Wow. I only saw 6. I guess I wasn't paying attention. So let's see what we have. 9 National Day of. October 7th is National Birthdays and Events Days. It's not bad enough that everybody gets a birthday. That's your national day, but now we got to celebrate the idea of birthdays. How about that? So that's birthdays and events. What's next? National Propane Day. Well, there's another way to talk about gas. It's October 7th, and we are celebrating propane suppliers across the country today. National Propane Day gives us the opportunity to dedicate an entire day to a group of small business owners who provide propane to their customers 24/7. It also allows us to share amazing information about the benefits of using propane, a safe gas. Next, National, let's see if I can get this right without butchering it. Trigeminal Neuralgia Awareness Day. National, what I just said, Awareness Day brings support and education to the general public about a painful condition. The trigeminal nerve is the largest of cranial nerves and consists of 12 pairs of nerves that control many functions of the face. So that would tell me if you're having a stroke, that's what's affected. National Chocolate Covered Pretzel Day. Officially marks the sweet and salty goodness of National Chocolate Covered Pretzel Day. Whether they're dipped in dark chocolate, milk chocolate, or white chocolate, be sure to celebrate every mouth-watering pretzel bite. Is that it?
No. There was a comment.
Would that also include Taco Bell for the gas from their food? Yeah, that's a different ending. Pun intended. National Inner Beauty Day focuses on raising awareness and supporting victims of human trafficking. Everyone has a story, a passion that expresses who we are as individuals. Our strength lies in embracing that story without filtering it through someone else's definition of beauty. When our core values reflect on the outside, we have given the world the gift we were born to give. That's a good one. I like that one. National LED Light Day. Maybe an unusually illuminating day, considering it is National LED Day. We are all born as incredible detectors of light. We intuitively notice differences in color and brightness, and lighting professionals know that much of human sensation is visual. People respond emotionally to light and color, using it consistently to draw us in like moths to a glowing light. The power of LED lighting affects all of us in emotional, economic, and environmental ways also. And I will say one last thing before you switch it, Davey. Spooktacular, ladies and gentlemen. I believe now that Spooktacular, the lighting of Spooktacular, is about 70% LED lights. Would you agree with that, Davey?
Yes.
Yes, LED lights give us the opportunity to do much more without paying for a whole lot, including using them as battery-operated lights. So very good. And National Frappe Day. Or is that frappe? I guess it's frappe. Honors a versatile drink with numerous combinations, so there are flavors to suit everyone. Frappes typically are blended drinks made with either coffee or espresso and topped with whipped cream. Sounds good. I like it. National Child Health Day. In the United States, National Child Health Day occurs each year on the first Monday in October. The day recognizes the care and guidance children need to grow strong and healthy. National Consignment Day. As the seasons change and our lives evolve, so do our styles and our budgets. On the first Monday in October, National Consignment Day offers a way to elevate both. The holiday celebrates consignment as the smart, sustainable way to shop, earn money, and extend the life cycle of your items.
That was it.
There is one more. Unless I was reading the wrong day. I must have been reading the wrong day, Davey.
Yeah, I believe you were. Sorry.
Oh, well, I will say this then. It must have been what I was reading with yesterday. And yes, I've had too much rum already. Yeah. So it must have been yesterday and one of the national days of yesterday gave me the idea for Across the Captain's Desk today. All I'm going to tell you is that yesterday was also National Coaches Day.
Yeah.
So that gave me the idea for something I'm going to talk about on Across the Captain's Desk. For now, though, question of the week with ancient city sirens. And this also question of the week came from my mistake of looking at the wrong day. But still, we have a question of the week. Before that, though, let's talk about Miss Gina and her girls. If you want a dance troupe to provide you with the entertainment, the class, the culture, and the beauty of women providing any form of dance you like, you must book Gina and the Ancient City Sirens. Gina and I have been friends, co-workers, and partners in so many events since at least 2009. That's a long time to have a good relationship with somebody in the entertainment business as I am and as she is. So, Miss Gina and Ancient City Sirens. So my question then is based on this. What organized sports did you play as a child? Because Coaches Day yesterday made me think that organized sports is very important for our children, among a few other things which we'll talk about later on. That being the case, it is time for This Week in Nautical History. Davey, I'm sure you got something, right?
Oh, of course.
Well, let's see what you got.
Welcome to This Week in Nautical History, sponsored by our friends at Florida Water Tours. Experience the intercoastal waterway at its finest, featuring picture-perfect attractions. We begin This Week in Nautical History in the year 1492. Christopher Columbus misses Florida when he changes course. Also in 1492, Christopher Columbus's expedition makes landfall on a Caribbean island he named San Salvador, likely Watling Island, Bahamas. The explorer believes he has reached Far East Asia. 1542, explorer Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo, on a voyage for Spain, is the first European to discover Catalina Island off the coast of California. 1571, Battle of Lepanto, Holy League of Southern European nations, formed by Pope Pius V, destroy an Ottoman fleet in a significant loss off western Greece. 1625, English Admiral George Weyler's fleet sails from Plymouth to Cadiz, Spain. 1771, the Dutch merchant ship Vrouw Maria sinks near the coast of Finland. 1799, sinking of British frigate HMS Lutine with the loss of 240 men and a cargo worth £1,200,000 off Dutch coast. 1900, the first modern submarine is commissioned by the U.S. Navy as the USS Holland, named for its designer John Philip Holland. 1982, English ship Mary Rose, which sank during an engagement with France in 1545, raised at Portsmouth, England. 1987, first military use of trained dolphins, U.S. Navy in Persian Gulf. And finally, in 2000, American destroyer USS Cole is badly damaged in Aden, Yemen, by 2 suicide bombers, killing 17 crew members and wounding at least 39. And that was This Week in Nautical History.
Very good, Davey. Very good. Now, we like to talk about some of the things that are happening, and this is the segment of the show that if you're a captain of a crew or a part of a crew and you want to share some of your events, by all means, let us know. We would love to talk about it. That being said, there's a couple of things I'd like to talk about that are community involvement, but let's first talk about the hurricane. I want everybody to be safe, to be calm. And this is a map of the hurricane as of 7:30 tonight, 30 minutes prior to showtime. This is National Oceanic and Atmospheric. This is where I get most of my information from. Notice that it will make landfall probably right around 1 a.m. in the morning on Thursday, but that's always subject to change. Ladies and gentlemen, this stuff changes drastically and quickly quite often. And it will be a hurricane all the way through the southern, or all the way through the land of Florida, and exiting into the Atlantic Ocean as a hurricane again, not as strong, but this causes all kinds of water conditions on both sides of the state. So please be very, very careful. Pay attention to everything going on, and please stop panicking. Panic leads to accidents and very, very bad confrontations. Be calm and know that there's nothing you can do, because this is the weather and Mother Nature, and just be calm about it. Do what you need to do. There is no reason for all the toilet paper to disappear. There is no reason for almost every gas station from my house all the way to St. Augustine to now be empty of gas. People are just buying it up. So don't be all upset. Take it in stride, and we all will survive together. And support each other after it's over. There's nothing worse than a whole bunch of negative Nellies creating havoc for everybody when it's not necessary. Thank you, Davey. We also like to talk about some of the other events that are coming up, like Spooktacular on the horizon. But before we talk about Spooktacular, catch Davey before he pops something up there, we're going to talk about this week, Panama City event this weekend. Now, the crew of the St. Augustine Swashbucklers, approximately 7 to 8 of us, are supposed to be going over there starting this weekend on Thursday and or Friday to set up a period correct encampment and be a part of their event. This will be our 10th year, our 10th year being a part of the Panama City Pirates of the High Seas, in conjunction with the Pirates of the White Sands, Captain Mayhem from the coast, the Gulf Coast, running that entire setup of his crew, and having the Tourist and Development Bureau be a part of what he does. It is a great event. They combined it with the Renaissance Festival over the last 3 years, and it's made it a very, very good event. Lots of fun will be had by all. So,
Hear ye, calling all lords and ladies. This hereby be your invitation to the annual Pirates of the High Seas and Renaissance Fest in enchanting Panama City Beach, Florida. Journey to a land of sun and sand and partake in grand feasts, medieval tournaments, live entertainment, fireworks, and enchanted festival village and treasure drop. The annual Pirates of the High Seas and Renaissance Festival, October 11, 12, and 13. Secure thy passage today, and for a most unforgettable journey, go to PCBPiratesFest.com.
Very good. So I do believe that Ransom Mayhem is on board there, and he will be wandered about out there. They've actually asked me also to be a part of a very fun little baseball tournament on Saturday morning.
Ooh.
Ransom Mayhem, tell us real quick in the messages, who are the recipients or the players of this? And while we're waiting for you to answer, we will be there. I will be doing magic shows. I have been asked to do one on Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday afternoon. So 3 magic shows. Come on out and see us. And, well, we have all kinds of other things to share with you. Let me see here. What did he put down? There it is right there. Miracle League, all handicapped or special needs kids. So Captain Mayhem, William Mayhem, has been asked to pitch for the game, and I will be going out there on Saturday morning to pitch. Any of my crew that's not needed in the encampment may come out with me, or any other pirates that are watching. If you want to come out and hang out with me in the morning and help out and have a good time with all these kids, I would welcome the extra backing of other pirates. So come on out. It looks to be a good time, and because the weather is going bad over here, it's going nice over there. So we'll get over there and have some fun. We also have Spooktacular on the horizon, but before Spooktacular hits, which is at the last weekend of the month, I myself will be attending a new event, well, a new event to me, the Jekyll and Hyde 10th year anniversary con up in Brunswick, Georgia. I will be up there for one day. In fact, my booth, Captain Mayhem's booth, will be side by side with Miss Vanessa Branch. one of the actresses, one of the participants of Pirates of the Caribbean. And she will be side by side with us at Jekyll and Hyde. It is a one-day event. I do believe I have a couple of crew members going up with me for the day. It will be a long day. We have to leave at about 7 in the morning. Arrive there at 9. We have 2 hours to set up. The event starts at 11. It ends at 8. And hopefully we'll be home by midnight. So it will be a very long day. But Captain Mayhem is now being invited to many, many more cons. So it's time for us to start spreading the word. So come on out. If you're up there in Georgia and you see this, come on out and join us. We'd love to have you there. And then finally, Spooktacular. David, do you have the video?
I do.
Wow, let's play the video.
Let's see, where are we?
Mr. Longwood, have you heard? The St. Augustine Swashbucklers are bringing back Spooktacular for Halloween this year.
Aye, Captain, that sounds
Aye. It'll be on the grounds of the Colonial Quarter. And they have many family-friendly haunts, like the ship with 37 crew, aye,
Good one.
a cemetery, a mermaid lair,
Oh, that's a very good one.
and, well, we won't give you any more details. The imagination is up to you. Come out and see us.
Very good, Davey. Very good. We do have do you happen to have the skeleton promo? Oh, you got that. That's good. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, there's our poster and postcards. They will go out starting this weekend or probably Monday. Postcards. There was a problem with the printer and we had to redo a few things, so it delayed us by a few days. But 25, 26, 27, the 7 o'clock till 10 o'clock, all 3 nights. And our sponsorship is just enough money to pretty much pay all the expenses of the event, which means that all the ticket money of the event goes to our charities, which is Inc., Investing in Kids, and Alia's Acres. So we look forward to having you come out and enjoy. And Marco's Pizza is one of our major sponsors. Every child's going to get a little special treat just from Marco's Pizza, but our pirates will be giving them to you too. And if you'd like to buy a skeleton, we found out we were in need of some extra skeletons. So what we decided to do was put this ad out. If you'd like to buy a skeleton, then we will put your name on the skeleton and put it somewhere in our Spooktacular. I'll give you one that's going to happen. A friend of mine is a representative of Charles Schwab. And I met with him over the weekend. I ran into him because we were downtown for the Pink Up the Pace race. So we talked, and he bought 3 skeletons, and it just so happens I have 2 adult and 1 child skeleton. He has a wife, and he has a daughter. So they are going to be out there in a static display. And since it's Charles Schwab, we're thinking they're probably going to be watching over the treasure chests. We'll see what happens with that. Very good. So if you want to, buy a skeleton. We'll put you in our event. The very first one that bought was a captain of one of the local crews here. We're very honored to have had him kick off our skeleton idea right away. We appreciate it muchly. And his name and crew will be out there on our event. So join us, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, Davey, I guess we didn't happen to pick up any pictures for Pick Up the Pace, did we?
Oh, I got a video.
Do you? Very good. Go ahead.
So that was and here it is.
It was a grand morning, ladies and gentlemen. 9 of the crew showed up. We sat there and passed out water to the runners as they went by. And we're the first station, so once they all went by, then we packed up everything, cleaned it up, and then walked out to St. George Street and cheered them on, standing out in front of Augie's, a place where you can pour your own drink. And we had breakfast there with Augie's. They were great. They do a great morning breakfast on Saturdays and Sundays. But they were a little short-handed, so some of us pirates stepped up and helped them do some beer pouring. So yes, Captain William Mayhem was a bar wench for the day. It was a grand time. It is one of several of the charitable events that the St. Augustine Swashbucklers participate in this month. Jailbreak, Spanish Fiesta, an event for the Wildflower Clinic. Everything is working out fine. So, yes, the Swashbucklers stay busy. That being said, do we have anything else I missed, Davey? We're in pretty good shape, right?
Yeah. Our poor guest must have got stranded.
Yeah, our guest was from, go ahead and pop their logo up, Davey. Our guest was from Ancient City Tours. They do a myriad of different tours. It was Lisa Rivera, and she was going to be our guest. We were going to talk about ghost tours in St. Augustine and her time as a tour guide for ghost tours and school tours, and just have a good time talking about tours. I believe every October we have brought in a tour guide that does ghost tours and specialty tours in St. Augustine, and just had a good crew talk about the things that you can find here in St. Augustine in the Halloween month for St. Augustine. But she had some issues due to the weather and was not able to make it. She let us know at about 5:40. We were trying to figure out a way to make it work for her, but it just didn't seem to work. So it happens. That's one of the major issues of live performances. Sometimes it doesn't always work out the way you want it, but we're having a relaxing show now. I'm having a bit of caramel rum, and it's me and Davey just giving you some information. And speaking of information, the St. Augustine Swashbucklers will begin building the Spooktacular around the 18th or 19th. That means that 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24 are all nights that we'll be building the Spooktacular in the Colonial Quarter. So it's ready to go on the 25th. We like to have a dress rehearsal and run through on the 24th. That being said, with so much to do, on the 21st, which is a normal Monday night, we will be presenting you a pre-recorded show. That way we can all be out there working on Spooktacular and doing what we need to do to make it ready to go by the 25th. So be prepared. The 21st of October will be a pre-recorded show. You'll still get some of the great segments. We'll record everything in advance. Davey will match it all up together, and it'll be a great show because it starts on its own anyway, and you can watch the show. I can guarantee you it'll probably be just under an hour, because when there's no guest and there's no interaction, a pre-recorded show will be a little shorter. But we hope you'll watch us nonetheless, and there will be some extra information on the Spooktacular for that evening. So, just so you're aware ahead of time, 21st of October, pre-recorded show. On that note, Davey, I can't think of anything else unless you want to go ahead and just jump into This Week in History.
Okay.
Welcome to This Week in History, sponsored by our good friends at Dick's Wings Bar and Grill. Wings, salads, wraps, quesadillas, and more. No matter what your taste buds crave, they've got you covered. We begin This Week in History in the year 1763. George III of Great Britain issues proclamation of 1763, closing lands in North America, north and west of Alleghenies, to white settlement. 1871. The Great Chicago Fire kills an estimated 300 people and destroys over 4 square miles of buildings in the original Emancipation Proclamation. 1915. English nurse Edith Cavell sentenced to death along with 34 others by German court-martial for running underground network to free Allied soldiers. 1918. American soldier Alvin York single-handedly attacks German gun nest, killing at least 25 and capturing 132 Germans. 1927. The Second 100 Years, silent short film release starring Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy. First Laurel and Hardy film with them appearing as a team. 1933. Gangster George Francis Barnes, a.k.a. Machine Gun Kelly, is sentenced to life imprisonment. 1944. Columbus Day riot. 30,000 fans descend on New York City's Times Square for singer Frank Sinatra's performance at Paramount Theater. Capacity 3,500. 1950. All About Eve, directed by Joseph L. Mankiewicz, starring Bette Davis and Ann Baxter, premieres. Academy Awards Best Picture, 1951. 1959. Far Side of the Moon seen for the first time, courtesy of USSR's Lunar 3 space probe. 1975. Saturday Night Live, created by Lorne Michaels, premieres on NBC with George Carlin as host. 2001. U.S. President George W. Bush announces the establishment of the Office of Homeland Security. And finally, in 2021, William Shatner becomes the oldest person to reach space, traveling aboard Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket on a 10-minute flight. And that was This Week in History.
Very good, Davey. Very good. Since we asked a question or two and we had some input, I thought before I go into anything else, I would just pop in and see all of our comments. So there's Zachary Wolfharker, ahoy from Michigan. We always appreciate you being there. There is Ransom Mayhem. Hello all, blind Ransom here. Yep, very good. Al Lane is joining us. We appreciate that. And Will the Historian. Hi. And let's see what he had to say here. It was, and my soccer players didn't get me flowers. I guess they can run laps. Hi. Baseball and soccer. Al Lane was, and this is in answer to the sports they played, football, wrestling, tennis, track, and field. Now, I could see football and wrestling, track and field, maybe. Tennis? Very good. Let's see who else is on here. We already got that answer from Ransom. Al Lane gives us finger red number 1. Thank you very much, sir. And Parlay 8 is aboard. We hope you guys can make it safely. We are planning on it. We just have to see what the timing is like. It's not necessarily the storm that has us bothered. It's the after effects. And I don't feel comfortable leaving a whole lot of mess behind if I can help it. So we'll see what happens. But St. Augustine may be spared. So we appreciate everybody watching us. I do have across the captain's desk. Did you put up the logo for that, David? There it is right there. I'm trying to find where I put it. There it is. Right there. So ladies and gentlemen, across the captain's desk. As I said earlier, the yesterday being National Coaches Day gave me a thought, and I expanded on it, and I hope that you appreciate my words. Sometimes when I write things, it's out of frustration or dismay at things that are happening, and sometimes it's to support other things that I think are important in not just my life, but everybody else's life. So if you'll give me your utmost attention, the captain now speaks. Many of us can probably share stories from our childhood and school years of our involvement in music, sports, and theater arts. I, for one, was involved in all three. I played baseball from the 1st grade into the 8th grade. I played the trombone from the 5th grade up to the 10th grade, and I signed up for every drama class I could or participated in school plays all the way into my 11th year. What prompted me to write this piece was the fact that today, being yesterday, is National Coaches Day, and I remember a few of my coaches of the day. I remember one of my major band instructors of my high school years, and still recall a few of my drama teachers also. I am firmly convinced that teachers, classroom, drama, and music, and coaches are some of the most important adults in every child's life. By the way, only second behind parents and especially grandparents. I believe grandparents are very important because they are role models and pass down the history of families. The learning or informative years of all children is a time to mold and form and prepare them for their place in society when they reach adulthood. The arts, in all forms, helps this building of social and communication skills overall. Involvement in drama courses and performances has been shown to also improve student self-esteem as well as their confidence in their academic abilities. I personally have taught magic classes in the past, and I have found when children learn a magic skill that they can then perform in front of others, the rise in their confidence grows, and growing confidence leads to a more open mind towards their academic skills, their grades improve, and the desire to learn more grows. Even David Copperfield saw this when he created Project Magic back in the 80s and 90s. It was a program centered on those who had brain trauma and motor skills issues related to brain trauma. Learning simple, easy-to-do magic tricks increased and enhanced your motor skills, which increased your confidence towards positive healing. The arts and sports provide both mental and physical stimulation and development by exercising both the brain and the body. Children learn from the interaction with others, their coping skills, and their social skills. When I was a kid, we weren't allowed to stay in the house and or watch TV all day. We were told to get out and play. Also learning that winning is wonderful, but failure or defeat is not a bad thing and gives one a way to learn, to improve and grow your mental and physical skills as you continue to navigate life. Winning is good, losing is not bad. When one is involved in a performance on stage, in music or performances, or on the field or in the arena, teamwork and respect are also the positive learnings from great activities of these great things. Of greatest of importance are the adult teachers, leaders, and coaches we entrust with the responsibility of helping to mold our children. Then in turn, the children grow up to one day becoming the very same teachers, performers, or coaches who then become the next generation to continue on the very same teachings. Also sharing because the love of the game, the love of the stage, the love of music, or the thrill of standing before an audience through the arts that has instilled within them by the role models of their childhood. The love of the arts in any form can truly be one great example of what I consider to be the circle of life. In the beginning of my words tonight, I stated I remember some of the adults who were part of my school days. Believe it or not, I still remember the name of my first grade teacher, and that was way back. To be honest, 1964. There is one more reason why the arts and sports were important to me. I was a military brat, as was my brother who's on the show with us. I attended 7 different schools in 12 years growing up. Magic, sports, drama, music, and just being the all-around class clown helped me with my coping skills because I was always the new kid. These programs in some schools and districts across the country are usually the first ones considered on the chopping block at times when financial issues for schools become a concern. As responsible adults, we should always push for the availability of any and all of these programs to be part of our schools. These programs will always bring out the very best in our children. We should always also honor and ensure that all teachers, especially those in the arts and sports, are given the respect and the honor to teach in whatever subject or venue they love so much. Being a teacher is also being a role model. When you love something to the degree teachers love teaching, it can't help but to be the creation of talents, learning, and grand memories for our children. I hope that sits well on the minds and hearts of everyone around. We thank you very much for that. My brother Ransom is warning me that as a pitcher, I have to be very careful because some of the kids can hit the ball very hard. Well, I guess I better make sure I'm wearing my cup. And then I'll just clean it out with rum later. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I see no others. I appreciate that, Parlay 8. We appreciate it very much. We hope that and understand for the best of all our private families. You mean pirate, I'm sure. But, well, we understand and read each other between the lines. So, do we have a guest on deck video?
That she was not able to get.
That's okay. We're still working on some new openings. I believe tasting tours will be coming on board. They've given me a tentative yes for, I think, sometime in November. John Lennox, a sword fighter and trainer in the movies and the arts of sword fighting and naval boarding, will be on board our show too in November. And we'll have a list out for you here very soon. Joke of the week with Minnie Mayhem, the reveal. What do we have, Davey?
Okay, it's time for the answer to the joke of the week. What did the pirate skeleton order at the bar? The answer is a beer and a mop.
Oh, I've heard that one before and didn't even realize it. Yep, that's because skeletons have no place to put the booze when they drink. It just runs out on the ground. Very good, Davey. Very good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I always say, when it's just us and we're relaxing, the show will always be just under an hour. And we're hitting 10 minutes under the hour right now, but we have a few more things to do. As I said, well, we'll just have a relaxing night, and we have. Once in a while, it's nice to have a relaxing show just to kick back. But we always like to make sure we say thank you. So, Davey, what do you have for us?
The Captain's Quarters podcast is indeed a ship sailing the seas of the world, always in search of history, knowledge, and adventure. It takes a crew to run a ship, so we take this opportunity to thank those who help keep this ship afloat.
The casting crew: Captain William Mayhem, Navigator Davy Longwood, Gunner Hellfire Henley, Cartographer Mandy Joe, the Powder Monkey, and Juan Cam.
Helping others gives a crew purpose. Our treasured charities that we support: Inc., investing in kids; the Humane Society of St. Johns County; Aelia's Acres, a no-kill animal rescue zone; and the Cadets of the St. Johns County Fire Department. The four major charities that we support. But there's always room for more.
You too can be part of the crew and support the show in many ways. Go to Patreon. A small monthly contribution as Powder Monkey or First Mate memberships, or a single contribution. PayPal or Venmo. Go to YouTube. Hit the like and follow buttons to join our ranks and support the show. It does take a crew. Thank you.
Very good, Davey. Very good. And of course, we always like to show everybody our numbers, not our numbers first, but our platforms. You can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on Facebook. You can see us on Instagram. And I believe you can watch us on Twitch also, right, Davey?
Yes.
You can listen to us on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Twitter, Castbox, Apple Podcast, and Stitcher. And Spotify, I believe you can watch and or listen.
Yes.
So that is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 platforms, ladies and gentlemen, that you can catch our show. There is hardly any place you can't go that you won't find us. And we hope that you will watch our show. It thrills me when I have people in the museum who find out about the show and I tell them and they say, while we're driving home all those many miles to wherever they're going, Ohio or Colorado or Tennessee, they say, we'll listen to your show. So we love to have people listening to our show. So if you're one of those listening, we thank you very much for your ears. What are our numbers, Davey? Do we have that video or was Mandy?
We do.
She was able to do that. Well, let's do what we got. Good job, Davey. Good job. And Mandy, we always thank you for what you're doing. I have a thought that we might want to, as we continue on to grow our ways for people to contact us, we might want to add Linktree to that down the road, because it seems to work out very well. If you don't know what Linktree is, it is actually a way for you to get a QR code, and people will click the QR code and it takes them to a website. I guess it's a website, or at least a link. And on that, it's a one-page thing. One page. But you can list out all the websites that you are part of, attached to, or run. Right now, the only ones I have on it are my personal Facebook page and the crew Facebook page. But we will be adding a link to William Mayhem, the website, a link to Old City Pirate Fest, Spooktacular, the crew. I think there's a fifth one in there. I don't remember. And whatever else we can think of. You can list everything on there. And so if anybody's interested in you, they have a choice of how they can contact, find out, and read about you. It's pretty easy. I used it a couple of times over the weekend, and it's already paid off. So if you haven't thought about it or tried it, I highly recommend it. It seems to be pretty good. So we've shown our numbers. The email is across the screen. We're 8 minutes shy of an entire hour. Davey, should we sing and dance, or just go ahead and end the show for the evening?
All right.
So go ahead.
Part of the podcast.
Part of the crew, always. We can't do it without you, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we could, but it's just not as much fun. We prefer to have you with us. And it's just much more entertaining to have everybody watching us. So we hope that you'll be a part of our show every week, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, from the oldest city in the nation. And it would behoove me to say this: if you can't catch us, you should catch Parlay 8 every Thursday evening when they're on board. They're going to be joining us in Panama City. I look forward to seeing them. I hope that maybe we can do a couple of clips so that we can put them on our show on Monday night when we come back, and you can share them to your show also. Aye. So, till next week, ladies and gentlemen, fair seas and following winds, and those of you that are in the path of the hurricane, just be careful. Keep your wits about you, and you'll be fine. Aye.
Down of history's embrace, captain's quarters.